Okay.
We don't want the computer to die.
No, that's okay. Take your time, guys. I really appreciate the time that for this podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like what I mentioned, I've been following you guys for a while now through Instagram. It started with a J and Mac did a what do you call that? I think it was like a workshop.
Mentorship.
A one-on-one mentorship. Yeah.
Mentorship. And the first time I saw the story, I went to your profile, and it was a time where there was no work from you guys after the workshop. So I kind of see the background about, before the J and Mac, mentorship, and how amazing how you guys transitioned your brand and like being able to create such a different film now, because I looked at your films before and after, and I really congratulate you guys on what you transitioned your brand.
Something just clicked with Jay.
Yeah, that was the best thing for us. Honestly, so far, I think the best, and like, you always got to keep learning and reaching out and trying to find new ways you can adjust. And so far today, Jay and Mac's mentorship has been like the best for us.
Yeah. Being one-on-one with someone and being able to pick their brain and I find it so much, and I'm an introvert anyway, so like going to workshops where they have like 30 other filmmakers there and you're trying to get your shot. I just love the one-on-one.
And before, I know we just kind of started quickly. I just wanted to introduce everyone. This is Travis and Joni Films, and they're from Iowa, which is, I have no idea where that is. I'm pretty sure that's like in the middle of the map of the U.S. So
right in the middle.
Right, yeah.
like all of the heartland.
Yeah.
People don't elope here.
They don't. Wait, you said they don't elope here?
They don't elope here. We go other places to elope.
So you guys are literally in the boonies. Is that what you call it? Like there's nothing there.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Compared to New York area, definitely the boonies.
We are more in a city area-ish. Kind of in the middle of lots of big cities is where we are. So
okay. And how long have you guys been I know you've been doing videos, wedding videography for a while before the mentorship. How long have you guys in total started the business? Like what was the story behind it? I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so Joni did photography, like home photography.
2012 is when I started photography.
And then she started into doing, she was second shooting weddings for some people locally here. And then about 3 years ago at this point, she started getting this itch to, she saw a videographer showing up to the weddings, and she's like, that looks like something that would be really cool.
I was so obsessed with the shots that they would get, like jealous of their dancing footage. And I knew it was an avenue I'd want to pursue eventually. So
she did try to get me to second shoot a wedding for her photography.
I would just do like friends' weddings, and I didn't love photographing.
I hated life as a photographer.
And I think he hated the Canon camera too. I think it helps if you love your camera and you love Sony. So
yeah. So she kind of suckered me in with she's like, hey, I want to do this, and you can have a drone, and you can have this gear. And she kind of needed me for that end. So
I needed him for so many things. I knew I couldn't do it alone. I can't do the audio and the techie stuff, and
so Joni, you've been,
if I had to, but
right. So you've been with photographer for a while now, and then Travis kind of came along, did a second shooting for photography, and then transitioned to video. I'm pretty sure, like in Iowa, I'm pretty sure like they're not as advanced. I believe I feel like they're not gonna I feel like there's less brides that are, who's wanting a video just because of or the area. I don't know like what it's like there for weddings for video.
Yeah, it's definitely not super. I wouldn't say it's extremely common that people are getting videographers. Like I feel like Iowa tends to lag behind, the coastal sides by a year or two. Even with like music and stuff, it seems like we're behind on all the trends. And so with videography, I do think we're a little behind on, the brides making it as opposed to being like an integral thing that they have to have. It's one of those still kind of a bonus that if they can afford it, they do it,
Right. I could imagine, especially your style, you know, like it's so unique and like out there. That's like, it's so, I would say cool. Like I love the feeling that your films, you know, gives me. Because whenever I look at films, you know, it has that feeling, and especially the brand that you guys created. So I want to go to like, first of all, the logo looks great. I know I
ATM branding. Shout out ATM branding.
yeah. When I saw that logo that you guys had, I was like, oh my god, there's like something to it. Like that logo just like it's so perfectly made for you guys. Like what you guys are trying to put out there, and I feel like he did a really great job. Like you know, creating that logo.
Yeah, we're happy. We're really
super
happy with it.
him. Yeah.
And I love how everything worked out for you guys, because like especially the text, like even the small things of like, you know, the logo and like the text that he, you know, created for you guys, it really like, you know, goes in together with everything you guys created. So I'm so super jealous, because I want to say, oh my god, like this is so cool, like, you know, seeing that logo of you guys, and like, you know, and the films especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much how are you guys looking for this year? I know with COVID and everything, like, you know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, had changed some plans of you guys.
We had 5 reschedules from last year. I think we originally were going to have 16 weddings last year. And it ended up being 13 because we did book some, but we also lost some to 2021. Sorry, the dogs.
That's okay. It's more fun if the dog's there.
So now we're sitting at 14 for 2021, which is about as much as we can handle. I would take one more, like in the more off season, November, December.
I mean, to that note, I don't think we've mentioned, I think you already know though, both of us work full-time jobs.
Oh, tell me more about that. Actually, you did mention that. Like, what do you guys do for work aside from Travis and Joni films?
And we don't plan on quitting them either, because I don't know, stability.
Well, I think, well, my side of it is I like the fact that this is fun, you know, and it's almost like a hobby that makes us money. And if it was to be a daily grind, I don't know that the passion would be there, or that I don't know that we could be as unique with each of our couples. Everything would turn cookie cutter. I just don't know that I would enjoy that. But I work at the University of Iowa in Iowa City. We both work for the University of Iowa. It's one of those places that everyone in town works there. It's a town in and of itself. So I work at the University of Iowa doing safety and security stuff. And Joni.
I'm a medical coder, and nobody really understands what that is.
What is medical coder?
It's hard to explain. It's not like computer coding. It's coding like diagnoses and stuff.
Okay.
It's hard to, but basically, I work from home. I get up at 5 and I work from 5 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So that's my full-time gig. And then I work on the business stuff in the afternoon if there's no kids around. Normally there shouldn't be. But,
and I know you both had two kids of yours.
So one's on the iPad right now and one's in bed.
Oh my god! So I didn't know Travis was a security guard in a university. So like what you mentioned, Travis, you don't really see doing this full time, the wedding videography, just because you don't want to quit the job. Like, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
It's just stable, and I might have a little bit of the starving artist syndrome. Like, I want to become that, and my full-time gig is just too good. Like being able to work from home, and I can really work around my hours, and it's too good to quit. And the benefits and.
So who edits the video? Is it Travis or Joni? Is it
who edits?
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
No way.
Yes, and she's I'll tell anybody this. I say it all the time to people behind her back, but she kills it, and she's the heart and soul of our films.
Yeah.
I do a lot of things, but I mean, I can't do what she does. I've edited. If you dig back, you can find a couple films that I've done like on my own, just little like projects that I try to do just so I understand what she does. But
But he'll come in and like it's really important to get things on the beat, and there might be some like off beats that I'm just a hair off. And we're both like musicians at heart. He's really good at pointing that stuff out.
What do you guys play?
I play piano for church, and
okay.
the drum and song leads.
I've played drums since I was 14 or so, and I lead in like the worship services and stuff. So I sing, and so like music for us. Well, number one, I think we all know that in videography and cinematography, the music choice is so important. But I feel like we've never struggled. I mean, maybe there's a difference in opinion, but I feel like we don't struggle there because it just comes natural to us, the musicality and the beats and the off beats and, you know, that kind of stuff.
And if I don't have just the right song, I won't be able to get into the film at all. So it's really important that I get that right in the beginning, because otherwise there's a lot of wasted time.
Right, that's so funny. Not to discredit Joni, but I really thought this, you know, the whole time Travis was editing the films, but I didn't know it was Joni who was editing the films.
Yeah. And Travis is actually more lead shooter. He is the lead shooter, I would call him. I mean, I think we're both very, very equal in the business. You know, sometimes like photographers will have a second, and their second is their husband. They're like lower than
different than a lot of couples. I really feel like, and we kind of say it, like we are truly a couple, a married couple team in this, and we both have really equal footing in the whole business, you know. And of course, we also have a third person that we take a lot of times to our weddings that works for us.
Shout out Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah. And he probably is that second shooter, you know. He's there to help. He doesn't take a huge like integral part, but like having him work with us
it makes the day so much smoother too. I know a lot of people don't run on a 3-man show, but at least half our weddings have Tyler with us.
So Travis, so you're the lead shooter for that wedding day. I mean, I could imagine how it must be harder for someone to edit if you're not lead shooting it, but like because you're not kind of like you're not like the front person, you know.
I think I'm gonna talk him up. I think why he is so good is I'm never satisfied. The poor guy. Like I'm the Enneagram 3 where I might reach a goal, but then there's another goal, and I just keep pushing harder. So I know I have to be careful, like what I say to him, and talk him up first before I.
That is the battle that does happen. We have a couple
so
battles.
Good. Like you're so good now.
And that battle often is, you know, she after the whole day, she's like, "You didn't get this shot like I was envisioning it.
It's not right," or.
And it's kind of different because a lot of times although since Jay and Mac, I've started I've changed a lot and shifted what I'm doing. Joni generally is still the one directing the shots too. So she'll direct, and then I'm really the lead shooter, which is very different than, you know, I guess we just do what works for us and it's working.
No, it does. Of course, the video is so, to be honest, I've seen most of your films, and I've been like looking at it, and like, especially like the before and after the mentorship, and you guys you know, it's so cool the transition that, you know, like your films have changed.
I'm pretty sure I've gotten rid of everything we've done before a mentorship. Because I go back and I just cringe at some stuff that I did, and you can tell like when I was like, oh, speed ramping, cool, like, speed ramp everything. You know, I think there's maturity now after being with them. And
And Travis, I know you're into gears. Like I know you recently had purchased the Sony A7S III. You know, I'm also like planning on getting the Sony A7S III, but like
the S3 is roughly right there.
I want one.
Wait, so Joni, do you get mad if Travis just wants to, like, how does that work? If Travis wants to buy gear?
Since he said, oh no, it was in the budget, so let's get that thing.
Well, we were one of those people when we started this whole thing. We went with Sony. She's always been a Canon photographer. We went with Sony, and even 3 years ago, they were talking about this unicorn camera. And so we were those. We've just been waiting for 3 years, and we knew the instant that it came out that was going to be something that was going to be something we wanted. You know. I
know, and Travis, I know the Sony A1 came out as well. What's your thought on that? Like, did you regret buying the A7S III?
No. It simply without seeing people's reviews, my thought is that's a $6,500 camera body that I just don't know that that's something that we need. The massive amount of megapixels, I think, is going to affect the low light capabilities, which is why I wanted this camera, you know? So I just, I see no, and truthfully, we didn't need this camera, and we're not probably, we have 4 cameras now. The other 3 are all A7 IIIs. And, I don't think we're going to go replacing all of our other ones. The A7 III is still a fantastic camera.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah, and we don't get, I try not to get stuck in that where you buy all the gear as it comes out. And I have gotten stuck in that sometimes with like gimbals and stuff, but I think this year, actually for the first year, we have all intents of not purchasing a bunch more gear this year. And just let our gear make money for us,
Finally.
Right. I mean, I've never talked to a vendor that's like, like since like you guys, I wasn't even like, I was shocked that you guys weren't planning doing full time because you have like jobs. Like for me, like I'm in nursing school, I could imagine like my future, like I want to do full time videography, but like what is it that's holding you back to like doing it full time? Is it because of the finances? Maybe you might not make enough, or is it just like you want to have that separate job?
I'm not probably gonna want to do it when I'm 50 years old. I don't know, and I feel I'm a little older than maybe everyone else. I'm 39. I can't believe I just said that out loud.
No, that's okay. What about you, Travis, to compensate?
And if I did get out of the medical coding career, I don't think I could get back in. Just changes and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like I'd said before, it's just like it's a passion that we enjoy and it's fun. And I've watched filmmakers that have gone full time, and it's to no fault of theirs. The films do tend to get a little bit more cookie cutter. Like you can see, oh God, they do that shot every time kind of thing. And we have some of those shots that we always do, I'm sure you see, but like, I feel like we can just be so much more creative and unique to the couple, because we're only doing 15, 16, 17 weddings a year. So, which is still a lot for, two people working full time with 2 kids,
Yeah.
Right. Well, I do see that. Like I follow like a lot of videographers, and like videographers that has 40 weddings. You kind of have that like I watched this videographer's wedding video, and it kind of has the same feel. Like over time, like it becomes to be like just similar. Like what you said, it would be a cookie cutter video, and I feel like that would be a great thing to have. Like if you're doing lesser weddings, you can be as creative as you can, and like making sure like every film is so unique.
Yeah. I think this year, earlier you asked about like what did this past year look like, but going into this next year, we're both really excited. We have a bunch of really fantastic couples and really great venues we're going to, and great vendors we're working with, and we're booking into 2022 more than we ever have before. I mean, booking that far out, we generally,
because of COVID,
yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of that with it, but we're really excited about that stuff. And with some of the changes we made from J and Mac, we really haven't had a huge chance to institute those as much as we'd like.
Yeah, after the J and Mac mentorship, COVID hit like right after that. Right when we got back.
COVID was kind of a joke at the time of J and Mac. People were laughing about it, and
right.
And then we got back from that, and it was like
hysteria. No toilet paper. So
I'm so excited, like to where you guys are, going now. Like I mentioned, like I saw the mentorship. It was in the story, and now like your videos are so different, and I could imagine like the couples that you're getting. It's like the couples that you want to work with, just because of like the style that you're putting out there. And I'm pretty sure like the transition of like couples that you guys have, I'm sure is so different from what you guys used to have.
Pricing has increased too. So we're getting people that really value video just as much as photography, So.
Right. So are you, how is like the wedding, like, are you doing weddings in Iowa, or are you guys doing weddings in other states?
Yeah, just Iowa. Minnesota is kind of close. We haven't done one in Minnesota yet,
Hmm.
but and I mean, we would love to do destination, but with the kids, like we could probably only handle like
One or two.
one or two.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we'll go about anywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, if someone hits us up, they're like, "Hey, we want you to come, a state or two away." At some point we have to start charging, accordingly, just to make it worth the time. But
Hmm.
um, we do several weddings a year over in Illinois, which isn't that far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're open to going really anywhere if people start coming, but we haven't had a ton of people reaching out from that far, and we don't market ourselves in that way either.
Yeah.
So
Just because you guys have kids, I could imagine like the like the hassle of like going to a different state, bringing all your gears, filming there, staying overnight. I'm pretty sure it's like that's a hassle, but
Childcare and
yeah, thankfully her mom
Yeah.
is retired, so
Mhm.
almost every weekend wedding that we get, her mom has our schedule, and she takes the kids usually overnight.
What is it like, by the way, in Iowa? Like, what are weddings there like, or what is it like life in Iowa? I'm kind of curious.
It's cool. Where are you at? You're
I'm in New York.
Yeah, so off season. You have one. You have an
Hmm.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, with COVID, I feel like here it's kind of like 50-50. Some people take it serious and some people don't. And, we did do a lot of weddings even in the midst of COVID, and they were just, a lot of people just minimized how many people were there. But even still, we had weddings where they were doing, 40, 50 people,
Yeah, the micro weddings, which I love.
Yeah,
More
I mean,
micro weddings. Those are
But
great.
it seems like the vibe that you guys are putting out there is kind of has that elopement feel as well. I tell like vendors like it's like when I'm looking at your profile, it's kind of like has that feel of like outdoors.
Even though it might not be, it has the feel of.
Yeah, in a perfect world, we would love for every couple to just go to a micro wedding and do elopement style, weddings. That's kind of where our passion is, like the intimacy
backyard
and
wedding.
backyard weddings, and the couple's not running here and there and going crazy.
It's more laid back, It's more like
it's laid back and fun, and like if we could go back, I always say no one has ever said I wish my wedding was bigger and larger and more out of control. Most people are like, man, if I would do it again, I'd just make it a little bit smaller and more intimate, because it goes by so fast and you don't really see people enjoying it. I don't remember a ton about our wedding, because it was just like big and big and
big and.
I'm pretty sure though, because like I mean, like couples would like. I feel like the reason that couples has like they want a bigger size of a wedding just because they want to have a big party. I guess that mindset. But like it seems like couples are transitioning to elopements. Especially last year. But like hopefully it will keep going to that route. And Joni, I know you mentioned that you've been doing photography 10 years. How's the transition? Are you liking the transition now, being a videographer with Travis?
I was still doing family photography up until last fall, and then finally quit photography. Even though I love it so much, we just needed to concentrate on one thing. And with the kids, like it was taking a lot of my time to edit photos and edit videos and work my full-time job. So something had to go, and
So
what the question was.
I don't even. We just go with the flow with this podcast, guy. So there's nothing. It's not formal, but yeah, I even forgot. But wait,
yeah, so she sold off.
I sold a lot
of her Canon
but
stuff.
kept some because I do love my Canon stuff. I love Sony too, but
I could imagine. So Travis is a Sony guy, and then Joni is the Canon person.
Even though I run Sony with video too, like we don't bring our Canon stuff to weddings.
Well, I'm sure you get used to it. Like if you shot like Canon, like I'm pretty sure you just want to shoot in Canon.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of our very first films, I don't think we ever did with a wedding. I think all our weddings had Sony, but we shot a film like a promo or something, and I remember shooting with her Canon DSLR, doing the video.
Oh, I don't know if I remember.
It was we did a video for my mom's company.
Oh yeah, that's right. And it had no auto, like there's no autofocus.
Autofocus.
It was a Mark III, so yeah, you had to like, yeah. Oh my goodness, those were the days.
So right now you guys are just shooting strictly in Sony. I'm assuming you guys are Canon.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
So where'd you guys get the style, by the way? Like Travis and Joni, like where did that? I'm just curious because like that's so like you guys did a great job, like branding yourself. Like where did this inspiration came from?
Oh,
The name or just in general?
I mean, the vibe of the video or like the style of the video. Like where is this coming from?
I think just my obsession probably with Jay and Mac.
Oh really? Who doesn't have that obsession?
well, I think there's several of those that there's people that we see that are doing these like elopement type stuff, and they have this outdoors, real hip kind of vibe, and we're really trying to like that's what we love to create here.
I think it's also classic, but yet there's an edge.
Yeah,
I think that's what I go for, is nothing too crazy over the top,
but
but a little bit of edge, I guess.
Well, you make wedding films look so like on edge and classy, and it seems so like hip, and I really love everything about like the brand and like what you guys created. It has like go ahead.
I'm just thinking about like other films that I watch, and they seem so wedding filmy and Hallmarky. And that's cool. Like there's a client for that, but it doesn't make my heart sing. I always say that. So yeah, I just don't want it to look too much like a wedding film, but I know it's a wedding.
Right, and like congrats to you guys, because like whenever I look at other brands or other videographers, photographers, like your brand really stood out because it's so like I could see if some company is so unique, like Jay and Mac, they stood out. When I see your company, it's like your brand, your business, it stands out. So I especially like this is something recent that you guys rebranded. I really can see that what you guys put out there, and it's so much fun like seeing like the transition after the Jay and Mac mentorship.
Yeah, and Joni she just got done redoing the website too, which
I did see that.
We already had kind of the vibe. I mean, the general branding was still the same, but she kind of gutted it and redid it, and that turned out fantastic too. We're pretty. And
Travis, I was expecting you with the hat, because like that was your signature in the website. I don't see it now, but
we need our swag on.
Yeah, I usually am kind of a hat guy. I guess it just depends.
Yeah, I saw on the website like about me, like you were wearing a hat, and especially in the photos of the website you were wearing a hat. I was like, that's your signature.
Yeah.
And Joni, you had the a gown. Is that what would you call that? Not to be
Oh, in the logo.
No, you're wearing that like flowy dress, and it has the logo, and it seems like you're constantly wearing that too in your videos.
I think it's because I have like a modesty standard in my own life, and I think that logo mimics that.
It really stands out, like the logo. Like literally, I could see both of you guys. You did. You know what's funny? I reached out to ATM Branding. Hey, do you want to be part of the podcast? And he mentioned like, I'm sorry, my English is very bad. I don't think I'll be able to do it. So
I think his name is Philippe. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know, but like, yeah.
Yeah, his accent or English comes across broken in email. So I don't think we ever talked to him.
No, we didn't.
With voice, but you could tell that he probably doesn't have,
Right, like he did such a great job. Like it really like stands out, like your brand.
Yeah, he killed it.
And I think I sent him pictures too, so he could go off that as well. Because he doesn't always do portraits in his logos, but I just love the portraits that he does.
Right. It was. I felt like it was meant to be though, because like the logo, like I feel like when I like I said, I was so jealous watching your logo, because like, oh my god, like there's something to it. What's that?
You can totally get one. You can totally.
Yeah, definitely. I am planning on getting one just because of like the talent that he has and being able to see that. I
And you're
definitely.
you're
I
far
could do
enough
that.
you're far enough away. You can rip us off. It doesn't bother
Yeah.
us. We just don't want everyone else right here getting the same logo.
Right, right. Yeah. So what's your plan with the business, guys? Like, what's your plan this year with like with the branding or like just the business or life in general? I'd love to hear that.
I think this year the thing that we're most excited about is just really killing it with the new things that we're learning. One of the big things that when I first started shooting, I was always stuck on a gimbal, and
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time breaking free of that. And more recently, kind of stemming from what we learned with Jay and Mac, but I do a lot more handheld, and we shoot. We try to branch out and shoot in 24p and
Mm-hmm.
force ourselves to not be able to do slow mo and some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and try to create just some real raw and like rugged feeling, organic films. And I think that this year, with the lineup that we have, the venues that we'll be at, we're just excited to do a little bit of what we did last year and really just kind of turn it up.
Yeah, and even mid-year, we were really honing in on those skills and even portrait sessions, getting the exact look that we want. I think we got there, and now it's just being consistent and honing in on those skills next year.
And one of the other, this year. And one of the other huge things we're going to be doing this year is we're doing a lot of engagement.
Mm.
Oh yeah, a lot of engagement films. So we'll do those and utilize that stuff then, in our film, the feature films that we do later.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just started playing around we bought a Super 8 at the
Oh, really?
I love that thing.
And that's a lot of fun. It's kind of fun.
Have you guys used it? Have you guys already used it?
We have.
We've used it for a wedding and an engagement session.
Oh my God, that's so cool. How does that work, by the way? Is there like a USB?
We're still figuring it out.
It was confusing. I had to reach out to some people on social media that are using it and just be like, hey, I shot this roll of film, or like what film do you use? And a lot of times you can the world's your oyster when it comes to YouTube. You can learn anything. Super 8 is a little different. I feel like it's just there's not a ton of stuff out there. I mean, you can learn some, but I just needed someone to give me some answers. So I touched base with people I saw using it, like, hey, I'm going to be doing this. What film are you using? How are you processing it? We got to ship it. We ship our film to California to get exposed, and
there's so many different ways to process it. So like you don't even know what way you want. I mean, it's very new.
So it's actually, so to clarify, you get this like device. You don't just plug it in a computer. You have to send it out to be able to process.
It's real. It's film. I mean, it's like shooting a film camera. It's old school. You hear it like you hear it ticking.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you send that roll of film in, and they have to process it using all the chemicals like they do with regular film.
You have no idea if your shots turned out, and
yeah, you get it back. There's some of it we've gotten back. We're like, well, that
didn't work.
It's back.
Too dark. So, I think we used a reception on an entrance, and then I was like, well, we'll see.
I wasn't even aware. I'm not sure if I've seen the recent. Maybe it's a recent video that you might have put up. But like, my question is that like, how is that different from like putting that like like a lot over? Like I feel like it could look the same, but like what's the difference for your eye?
I don't think there's some things that you can mimic like the real thing. In my opinion, like there is something just so I hate using the same word, but it's raw. It's like what you get is what you get. And if you just shoot some fantastic 4K footage with an overlay on it that makes it look Super 8, it's obvious that was sharp footage at one time, whereas the Super 8 it's rough and it's shaky,
just keeps the
and
feel of us being organic and real, authentic.
So who's doing the film like during the wedding day? Have you guys used it in the wedding day yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
The 8mm, we used it on one wedding, and we both kind of shared. we didn't bring it out at Portraits because we forgot, but
we did
we shared in it. We both kind of ran it.
So we did like a little engagement film back in, when was that? A couple months?
I think
October, maybe late October or so. And we used it in that. That's just a short, like 1 minute film. And then, we did it in a wedding. And that was still kind of a micro wedding.
Right. That's so cool though that you guys are like trying this like device and putting that. I've seen videographers using that, but I didn't know that it was a huge process where you have to send it out to get the footage. I thought you just plug it in your computer or something like that.
Yeah, and if you check the wrong box, like the last one we got back was not what we wanted it to be, and it's
really
it's too late.
Oh, wow. It still looked nice, but it wasn't like the exact thing we wanted. And
it's expensive too.
Really?
For about 3 minutes of footage, of actual footage, all said and done, it's about $120 to purchase it, process it, and get it back.
So are you adding this for your couples in the future, like as an add-on?
I think we need to learn more. So this year we'll just try to bring it out for the right couple. Like, I don't know if it would work for every couple's wedding. Like maybe they don't have that vibe.
Yeah. If we have a couple that we're, because we're gonna doing some of these engagement shoots. So if we do an engagement shoot with a couple and we find that they're just really down to, down for whatever, down to have some fun, and we really feel like it will work well, then we'll use it with them, and we won't charge extra, for now until we kind of figure out what to do.
This is our year to learn what we're doing.
Right.
And then have an add-on later, 2022.
Right. Before I leave out, I want to ask you, I know this is something new for you guys, like rebranding your business. Like it must be some like overwhelming, is that the word, overwhelming, where it's like, I feel like you get to work what you love. Like, it's your passion. And I feel like the couples that you want to work with, like, how does it feel? How has it been doing for you guys? Because you guys, this is something new for you guys, like with your business and like especially the life, I guess. Because you're working with couples that you love, and like it's like you get to express yourself creatively on what you want.
Yeah, I think we're loving it. It's fun. We're having a good time, and we couldn't do it if we didn't. We're married, obviously, and we get along doing it, and we do. we do bicker sometimes, but we like working together, and we're passionate about it, and I love the gear and being that person, and she's obviously killing it with the edits, and we're just excited for where we're going to keep going. So.
Oh, like Joni, how are you feeling? I want to hear you, like.
Of the rebrand or of the
like the year of the rebranding, since it's like something new, and I didn't even know you were editing it.
I feel like the rebrand of the website too, like people are seeing our personality more, and so the inquiries we're getting, and I might be making this up in my head, but
that's okay.
I think they're more serious now about it. Because the inquiries we have got, even though it takes them a while to, I don't know if it takes your clients a while to respond back on the initial email.
Yeah, it used to, yeah.
It takes a little while, but they do eventually email back, and like we're almost to our 4th booking for 2022, which is much more further along than we've been in the past. And I think the website and our personality shining through is helping.
And
I'm really excited.
We do have several. I mean, it's always a great feeling. People talk about having a couple choose you before they choose anything else. And we've had some couples that are like, "Hey, are you available? This is our date." And we're like, "No, sorry, we're not." And they're like, "Hang on, we're going to change the date because we need to work with you." And that's obviously really flattering. And
flexible. And usually when they don't have their venue picked yet is when they can.
Well, it just seems like your brand is so cool. They want Travis and Joni, in their wedding day, and like how, what's your advice for creatives that are just like starting out and like, they like your style? Like, what would you want to tell them?
Oh man,
you can make it up.
I would say, just like the thing that's been the best for us is find that videographer or the other, the photographer that you look up to.
Yeah, find a
And
mentor.
once you find them, just Joni she spends so much time digging in and breaking.
I really study.
She'll watch a film of somebody that we look up to, and she will break it down and just analyze it, just pick it apart. And learning is just huge. So find someone that you're passionate to emulate, and watch their stuff. Try to get into a mentorship with them, or see if if you can build dialogue with them and just get better.
And never feel like you know it all. Like we don't know it all, and we have a lot to learn, and always try to further that education. And we're doing a mentorship with Blink Films next week. Do you know?
Oh, no way, really?
So just always learning, and never just being like, oh, we've got it now.
Yeah, I think we're careful about that, because if you asked me 3 years ago after we did our first few weddings, I was like, man, we're awesome, we're killing it, this is just amazing. And I do
those speed ramps,
I do feel like
120p.
So you guys actually use speed ramps in your older wedding films?
It was
yeah, everything was like shoot.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Every
and slow-mo, 120p slow-mo, just
we've grown a lot.
but my point was, at this point we're careful not to say, hey, we're the best, we're careful to just look for how we can get better. And I don't think that there is such a thing as reaching it. You're there, you've made it. I think it's just a constant battle to be better.
That's what I love about you guys. It's like you guys are so willing to, get out there and then learn from other, creatives. And I feel like that's something hard to do, like to reach out and spend investing in yourself, because, I feel like that's not a lot like me. I didn't pay to go for mentorship. That's what I love about you guys, because you guys are willing to go out there and then, learn from someone else. And it does show that in your work, how the improvement, you guys are awesome, seeing your films, you guys oh my god, Travis and Joni.
Now my head's gonna be like
yeah, we've done several. I mean, we started with Nick Miller, he's Wild Oak Films.
Oh, you guys did a
a 3-person.
Yeah, that was that wasn't a one-on-one thing. That was there was maybe 20 people there. John Bunn was there as a part of that. Yeah. So we, that's kind of where we started learning. And then of course,
why Blink Films? I'm curious. It's such a different,
And she's a totally different style than us.
Yes.
I think you can just glean from people that aren't your style and put it in the Travis and Joni way. And even just probably how she serves her clients. There's a lot of questions there. And I know she does commercial a little bit, video, and we want to get into that, and just kind of picking her brain with that too, and just always staying unique. And
and I want go ahead.
One of the things that we're just trying to be different, but still trying to be authentic to us. We're not being different just to be different. We want to be authentic and real. And so I think you can always take pieces from these other people and then make it you.
Right. That's so cool though, because I could just imagine after the Blink Films, what do you call it, mentorship, it might have that some taste of different of Blink Films into your films, and I'm really excited to be able to see that transition as well.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And that's just an online mentorship, but it's one-on-one, so I'm excited.
So Joni, you're the one mostly or both of you guys are gonna be learning from her.
We'll be learning. We'll both.
I'll be there, but the online ones where it's she's talking about dealing with the clients and editing and that kind of stuff. A lot of that stuff is really that's all stuff that she's gonna glean more from.
Right.
They might get into, well, when we talk about the commercial end, I'm probably gonna have more of a hand in that a little bit. We're in the process of actually trying to create a whole separate brand.
We need a name.
I did see that, what you made for your sister, right? The commercial. I really love that.
Yeah, we've made several. My mom's company, we've made a few for.
Sheriff.
We did a sheriff's
oh, really?
campaign video. So we're kind of the point where we want to start that, but we do feel like it needs to be separate, like its own marketing, its own brand.
And names are so hard.
Well, who knows? You might get bigger. Like you might guys enjoy it, and like because like who knows? You know, you might want to do you might do that full time in the future. But that's exciting.
Never say never.
And you guys have a name in mind yet?
No, that's the hard. If I could get a name, I would get a website. But I don't have a clue what we would.
Yeah, I didn't want to take more time away from you guys, but I really appreciate your time, and I was so surprised that like I was able to learn a lot from like Joni was doing the editing and Travis was leading it. Like that's something new, because like again, like when I see your work, it's like I thought it was Travis doing the editing, but that's so cool, and also like investing in yourself to like videographers that you look up to, and I really love that you guys are really willing to go out there and learn from others.
And like Joni said, I think it's awesome that you're doing this. I just feel like we're just peons in this game. Like, and I think it's nice that you reach out to some people that I think I've seen that you're reaching out to people who are putting out good work, and they may not be the big name.
Yeah, they may not have 10,000 followers, but they're awesome, and they're good.
Yeah, of course. And I see that on you guys, like you guys really put out great work there, and like your brand really stood out to me, especially the logos. Like everything about what you guys created is so amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us.
And thank you so much again. I really appreciate your time, and I love talking with other creatives and bringing your me to your world, and then in hopes that it will inspire other creatives that will come across to this video. So I really appreciate that. You
already do it, but stay in touch.
Yeah, of course. If I'm going to Iowa, that's one of the. I want to go to those. I want to go to these places that are like Kentucky, like something like in the middle of nowhere. I really want to. I don't know if Iowa is one, but like that's one destination.
Try Nashville.
Nashville, is that close by to you guys?
I think Nashville would be fun. Nashville's not close.
No,
to us, sorry.
If you're ever coming through Iowa, reach out. But
I don't even know.
Definitely.
I don't think Iowa's a place. It's a place that you go through it. You don't stop.
Oh my God, it's funny. No, really.
Iowa though, but
are you guys planning on moving, or you want to stay in Iowa?
Well, I mean, you never know what would happen, but I don't see plans of leaving Iowa.
No, once in our life we had kind of discussions about that, but with kids and grandma lived close here and grandma over here, and given the way I feel like the world's fallen apart in some places, and I feel like Iowa is at least kind of sheltered from it.
Right.
A little bit.
Like what you said, like it's sometimes like I could imagine that place. Some people don't believe in the mass. I'm pretty sure, right? And I feel like they're in the middle, out of this chaos. Chaos.
Yeah. So I think because of that, as much as we love to, I feel like we have a little bit of our heart that's like mountains and wilderness and stuff like that. But like we like Iowa, so.
Well, anyways, if I come across there, like maybe like to pass by, I'll reach out. Because Travis said to just pass by.
We'll wave at you at least.
Yeah. All right, thank you guys. And if you guys don't mind if I upload this to YouTube, if that's okay.
Do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time, and we'll keep in touch.
Thanks for staying up late.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Bye.